Elfrida C. Antonym. Did it present one pony in vermilion vernal spackle and consist mostly of quotes? Did she shuffle her feet and bring figures into the poem because she wanted to look like them? Conference with birds of crimson, north, dying human gulls, sea cheat, gulf, sea abyss, sea enshrined. She went on and on about other people's money, didn't she? Had a bottle of whipped, isn't that enough? Birth is but a sleep and a forgetting who's likely to remember cries. Anyhow, cancerous, thus did it, his desperate desire to be positive and her knowledge of the absolute futility of it. This is an assumption that none of us will ever receive. Did it here also in pain, O one, mighty son, inventor of the castle clock, us and us alone, ma'am? And did it slenderize? Was it a manual for a pre-stage of femininity? Princess stage, you know who I'm talking about. Mary Stuart represents the royal stage. Princesses are the pre-stage, something that's not yet settled. Mother had absurd adulation, completely idolized her, also a manic compulsion to humiliate her and her gilded wish to extinguish, plus foreigner, a slut, some lanolin vater, eaten my bad habit, truffles ne'er do well, unchecked. Infant, who knows becoming a poet means everything to one, to the other. It's just an obstacle. Gymnosophist. I think that with him, language is more of a vehicle he uses to sharpen his own perception so that it can hit the target with ultimate perfection, saying precisely what he wants to say. Well, I am saying it can't be done. It's a constant deconstruction. Language cannot be authentic if, as a woman, you don't have the right to speak. You've got to pick up the rubble. I am a Trümmerfrau of language. I want to produce something that can only be spoken through verse, persistent verse only to listen to. It shouldn't be printed. Red and white families. Treasurer sucks in the family, but still excites a fantasy, but still conventional sound effects don't generate desired resonance. Manor house, having clean sheets, having swept and vacuumed, writing like I'm dead, of course. And without blemish, I feel the success of my friends. Using a condom, there isn't even any hair to fall out. Rooms consist of clean, unsorted lines. Blue Swedish textiles are the furthest thing from grotesque, 'tis why we covet an audience of all ages. I wouldn't necessarily call this a flashlight, never rush a crush, and so on, and actressing, and so on, into capitalistic happiness, but I mean it. I have no comments. From goose to blow, truth to admin, a splinter from a man's finger I would love to prick and press. A vicious escalator even is heavenly if it's ever been in a mirror. About a woman who doesn't realize she's dead. I am dead. I was literally murdered, and that's also what connects me to Bachman. That radio play was read, and I've been in love ever since, but I am not a strong woman. A hunger strike, no way. Bachman, in the end, was also murdered by her mother. Sylvia Plath had a similar fate, that poor woman. Oh, and the night permeates everything. I am bringing it to you right now. Him, he's positive and not instantly cast off. Death, you know, eats at the time of others, and therefore he is always hungry. One's own time is never enough, after all. Well, then, who is the winner in the fight of commodity versus ground, faith versus reason? The animal. Then there's the man at the piano, and so on, into happiness. If his view of coolant fields would persist for one's country, well, I am not a strong woman, nor am I timid. After having cried up my wine, another's life is easily acquired as long as it's made of soft metal to cut a passage through. See tidy, see compel, see fresh and balmy, all such services, white as a silver lily. That's called napalm and pudding, painted on the wall. Born in and lived for many years as a portrait of a girl looking as if she were alive. Every year she came back for 8 years, and beneath the granite slab, death lingered on, and repurposed it to feel a part of it. Another angle, through the bay window from the garden. That poor injured soul, on the 8th year, she did not come back, and she never came back again. Walking arrogant from Target, sightseeing and conversation, I slumped at her way of describing something. For example, I saw to my left a flutter of certain damaged liaisons, wings, rather, of benefit brown, and it was a bird slowly dying. against the anguished brick and ecstatic ground that seemed suddenly to have been met there all along. Not to relate it for the purposes of elevating my personal experience to anything symbolic or incidental or even destitute to emotion was heart mine, art mine, and that's have mercy, am I living for it? Or barely? And should I stomp the bird to death? It was dying gradually, with its eyes on me, and 311 never entered my mind. Could 311 have saved this trope from its, oh, 311, I only called you to tell on people. Where's a shoebox when a small animal shows itself to be a private being? The dropping of the daylight, the bough of cherries broke in the orchard for her. Oh, it's all in quotes. Oh, sir, she smiled, no doubt, whene'er I passed her, but who passed without much the same smile? This grew, I gave commands, then all smiles stopped together. There she stands, as if alive. Will it please you rise? And they do rise, and one by one I plead they tell me their New Year's resolutions. I was gonna do that at the top. Forget it, I'll guess at yours. It is about behavior. You will unplug every constant machinic sorrow each day, no matter to speak, but hell, no matter the non-knowledge I live in baked Hyperion fear of. We police ourselves, called revision. Are you silently singing while I talk, said the doctor to her husband, then later to her patient about lying to her husband. Sure, I can speak like a politician. Then she gave him an update. That man knows all about the curiously mingled sense of identification and alienation felt when you can see yourself die. Only in a hybrid, walnut interiors. Trying to acquire what dogged figure got killed in her late 20s, she accessed a memory and in mock adoration wrote so entertainingly of, call me, I think it was. It followed hard upon, don't call me. I don't need permission to live like some people do. Maybe I do, but don't call me. I am not as strong, a brilliant green is all I can say, a brilliant green. I'm not saying. Hi-fi radio, bandaged to her waist, all corsets hooked by Hermes and Lee Miller. Foremounting her horse to flash past the high-rises, and in all the wet streets not a one to be found, not even where is mommy now? All children inside the house of constant voting. Tiny ivory ovaries plus pecs. True and correct to their ambitions so far, perfect, see, spoilt. Justice is a woman, detective. See, invade. Clearly not I, nor your, nor yet love. Showy, see, darling. A division in thinking we love is not a ridiculous upswing in the end. I'm opposed to bringing everything onto a social level. More at home in the American art scene and the German theater scene that would be in the American theater scene. American artists are building a bit on the foundation of the Vienna actionism, so to speak, except that the Viennese were so dead serious, while the Americans shit on everything. But to make them laugh, take yourself for night, isn't that a wonder? Now, to milk the ram, to translate my own inutility into light as air, to always use something to designate time passing, to wait for the word manger, to get dressed like I'm 70, to start with a problem someone could have. I like to talk about obsessions. Good taste equals personal taste. I'm surrounded by heroes. All the heroes, in unison, drink water from a small Dixie cup, in unison. All of these poems are probably about being poor.
Yeah.
The only room. These are more literally about it, called Poor Wave. 1. You know women, oh women, in my family fair, where we are not, are they? Are we not slept? Never. The future is in machines constantly slamming. I am papa to no man, health department, so wary, having so fisted a pallid lap. Loose you hang or head back when your mother is too red and clear. Possess a soul that happens which is to wonder how the lake in the heavy lids of itself looks for guidance among some filthy, counseling rocks. I owe my mom rocks to hold the moo-moo down, shimmery ice pops wait in terror of terror. Swing to you, listen, this is my furniture. I bought it, it's mine. Poor wave 2. All extra pinafores down by the front entrance now. You owe me one unspoiled, handwritten piece of Dad's arm before it was a daughter of Scottish skies when excrement dug into by Copps for insider tomato sin fomates bless you inside rags in rooms wallpapered with repetitive potato chip grammar. Effervescent own, it's your own hurry. I am weary, hurry. Poor wave 3. In white sheets, fall is growing. I live near blondness, too rhythmic for a second best hold. It annoys him very much to have to turn around to see what's behind him, mewing. Point of a crescent moon hangs ambivalence forever. Cow's hopeful way, blent seems like a ripped ridge where knowledge is pow. Seems like we hurt. Wanting it faces the phone in red, crosses by threshold, felt a whole company that utters a great shout and see blend, defined. One no saves stone, roses, calcifying and shake and betray inducement. Last week you came here, smashed in cotton cage, said you were my love. I said I have all this cusp. Poor wave 4. Mine is the first myth, open and polar, a no-win tardy opportunity, ost conservative, outcome liberal. A pastille once read, stronger, ungracious, airs milk sobbing, helps taste earth and wear a guy's demeaned breath, or he's glass girdles contrarily now. I detain purplish black foam possible in part by how I return to the farm and set, really, my things down, saying, this is how I like porcelain steps, and so moving them for your portrait of Hall, large man needs it silver, and driving is violent, and slumming in order to advance. I feel my steps quicken in the fall and make a slow fire or a water bath. Talking in a study. Saturday, a carrot into saturates, rosé. Sidewalk hands held daren't energize for anything but complaint. Already this creates mauve Dutch. Call building services, and Frenchly they will phone me, sterilized an animal at a dour poaching. Maybe to put right your problem, for Jack to undo the tangles, you must ask him forcefully, Jack, will you look at this confidential circuit board made of hard sugar, and after his wet train travel, reveal an orange in a pile of leaves, to feel like dawn in your parents' date books when a major date. Arrows might and chandelier droplet Jack puts in his mouth, reason. An orange cleanser on the hillside is what made him brush your hair later. Serenity sheerly. Breadboard is always light, or doves spare us. Seriously, they were let out of a bag at a funeral. Green-lit wings, unsoldered, no, unfocused on wings, or lit a real breadboard inventors used to experiment. We found a problem confidentially soldered to rise from the Victrola. Who wants to squeeze the life out of something inanimate? Me, at last, at long last, like a hallway, I want a wingspan as a baby's shoe doves wear, neatly trips a rough by pads, say, rough fade out or rough ripper in the attic. Eat string, but don't trip control. I dove into Maisel's pool, this dive in the hallway hug being what consume means, not the poor licking honeypots or servants unfrozen cherishing spitwads as a term to redirect the owls. I rose from the honey pot and dripped into the Victrola. Buy. Will you buy an owl? Buying redirects my husband Jack anyway. I forgot I was married as it waited. In matte red, markers to be drawn, hotly repressed and contingent on sanity, which is redefined as salacious as a coffin holding your mother and the inverse. Tell me not to use that word in her dumb screed. I'm sorry for your mother. Which word? Antagonist, never let go. Never be the household, perfect soil, and ideal climate. Be a love that does not know how to know human genre crashed on the purblind sea. However austerely sun-sick, I made hares and eggs, enraptured, trundled. One of my reveries even, amidst a violet party, decision to help force a whale under the point of the green pencil. It will like pulsing. I don't, well, would do, but how to achieve purblind, handcrafting raw product at the hop. Knew one person in the lush room, a block from Feltley hats, a business down the street, and lilac hesitation, a pro-lulling room, where two more I knew entree, the skin of the skate, late and married, swans, absent a stretch, otherwise promises, get the welcome, naturally welcome, and faith, was it? Foul. A dullery glass. I believe in fantasy, not resigning to waters well in Easter spirit, 3 joyful leaps. Filleted in plaid, a prisoner's skyscape, and air conditioning made by pedals lazily, oh delicate hands. Finished fat with little time for incredible tea. Supine inside golden lotus now. Carefully get up and throw the meal down hair pie road. Dad's vital light hand against Palinopsia fish tank. No. Orchard Street. Inside, mind acetylene. I think I feel the visible beams cut. I learned mother on my watch in the room. Pears are bad. Lead to the place and the wall cooing. Unless 100 pale heads and sticky shit split and form a cloud of dust. In the drawing, I see mallard end, I see my liege, leitmotif allergen, I see my gentle is an agent, is coloring her lips in with this color. Agent is 6 now, and his coloring book is Art Nouveau Figurative Designs by Alphonse Marie Mucha Jr., and he is filling in the fall and winter lips with magenta. No coarse cloth in attendance, Sinan small Tahitian grave. Let rest here my leer, and here soon the moon's fair lecture in black, so I stay tonight. Preheated saucepans in seats, sorry. A group of philosophers. In my many books, opacity no longer hides. Novice, blankly always hold up. She's a miraculous fast. Her ribs go, 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 that they rift in 1984. Rib clone lives without life. A vacant god prattles, lets a tricycle's 2-inch steel tube slam into a hymen, all left feet. To do, I cry, hey, novice, my day starts at 3, swill, and event culture at 7. My eyelid in the room begins to sacrificially tremble. My nose knew not I, a small flower sachet, weakening while deciphering a twit, a measurement of nothing. NB spare hill, transition metal. I have no physiological control madrigal ever, and assuming a rapid movement, the slap from baker to her biscuit is a turning good public might think of nerves, or heart flip at first, on-screen locomotive, and so then luminol, and then interconnected pastries. I admit only my sunk agency, cornstalk, 2 cobs, boil. After the symposium, carved long scars. The author, on using heresy to mutate sufficiency's going form, stood before my indifferent lid, now aging me, 2, oh delicate hands. constantly refer to and understand each other in a bind. We should say what we think the man thinks while seated next to the man himself, or sleep in the room next to her. Hand releases glass, her shoot-up approach to alterity changes, hers habits, hers work. We write are non-axiomatic, fearsome now, making grace contingent on presence, a graceful, insecure curette. I made this for you. Eat it. Hair and smoke appear woven in a beyond slot cut when I worry those people aren't talking. I'm calling. Desire beneath the garbage men. April rain tires. April rain hurled into the night, Georgia. Particle hurled o'er a mountain or through mountain. Either way it reaches a damp other side. Eminence, red-hot pits are snow, dad's light fact, I bet on safe simultaneity, my pampering, so finally a fire, which make a special effort and wipe up this counter I practiced on, a row of chairs, drip, then vanish, or the white stars of blueberry comments are found to accompany sorrow, in case that says anything. Fresh ribbon, get up. Well, stop, then get up. In France, they know what it's like, what another's feeling when feeling, and foul was it? Faith. Stand next to their shoes, not in a peasant's stabbed boot of the parting or businessman's loafer. Tuggle, milady, parsley, or fucker, in the sense I want dead. He sorts the paper well, and appears in dark silhouette behind deer standing alert in the moonlit night. It's just that the jam taken from the whatever Frigidaire we swum down river was made by my grandmother, Doris. A girl called Doris? I said, no.
I dreamed I was beautiful. I dreamed it, and it felt real, and I felt everyone's eyes looking at me with pleasure as I passed. I was an object of curiosity, still, but shiny, glowing, something you wanted to touch or possess even. I dreamed I was beautiful, and that the whole world smiled my direction, saying, yes, yes, we're glad you're here. Thank you for giving us something to look up to, something better than we are. It was so perfect, so perfectly right that I was so beautiful, like everyone agreeing on the obvious solution, nodding in unison at what was, of course, the truth. I dreamed I was beautiful, but it didn't matter. You left anyway, and I reached out to your grizzled hand as it swung behind you with all the confidence of someone really going somewhere. And my outreach was this long, horizontal song of grief. No, 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 no. I dreamed I was beautiful, perfect, a fantastic artist, brilliant. I had ideas and they were all great and everybody loved my work. I dreamed you were burning, down to the very earth of you. We went to bed to fuck and your skin cracked off you and fell to the floor like autumn leaves. Oh, my, 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 my. Oh, my, 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 my. Once upon a time, it was beautiful here, and the sun came and set fire to the ground until it was black, scorched and hard. There was nothing, nothing, nothing left for us here. Once upon a time, it was beautiful here, and the prince let down his guard. You should have seen it. Flowers falling from his chest, his hands, collapsing to the ground and bearing the whole front of his insides open, glistening and shiny. I can't tell you what to add on, what's not to add. Memories are my little fictions, covering me with feathers. Drums in time, and you and here no more. It's coming down to losing it in drums, in time, and you and I and rain don't fall down here no more. It's coming down to losing it in you. What did we do before we were depressed all the time? Before the pall of mourning kept us paralyzed and hopeless? Before the reports from outside only cemented our misery further, kept us weighted, immobile, prepared for nothing, bewildered by the walls of our bedrooms? What did we do? What did we do before this shroud of malaise covered everything and everyone? Before I stopped knowing how to talk to you, you to me, before I forgot what talking meant? What did we do? What did we do before the fall, before the wars went on forever, before it didn't matter what side you were on, before everyone was a critic loudly in public, before I stopped looking at you for longer than 10 seconds, before we were nameless faces, wanted over senseless endings, screaming, not in the morning news, please, no one wants to see that. What did we do? What did we do before I forgot who you were, before I forgot your name, her name, everyone's name, before I forgot we were supposed to meet, before I couldn't remember your number? What did we do? What did we do? What did we do before we were confused all of the time? Before we didn't know where to go or how to be or what to wear? What did we do? What did we do? What did we do before we were supposed to feel bad just like all the time about what we looked like, what we ate, how we felt about it, about how much I want you but I'm not supposed to, about how young I should be but never will, about how invisible I can get? Before what did we do? What did we do? What did we do? What did we do? Before everyone copied everything again and again, before nothing was original anymore, before this crisis, before that crisis, before the occupations, before the bad poems about the occupations, before the euro fell, the dollar fell, the euro fell, the dollar fell, before China and India got better at being us than us. What did we do? What did we do? What did we do? What did we do before our mothers got sick? Sick with worry, sad, curved shoulders and searching eyes, darting into the corners. Who will help? Who will help me when you're gone? When you don't even know your own name? When you can't put your hand to your mouth? When you stop turning to me for answers? What did we do? What did we do before our fathers fell on the floor, splat like sandbags because standing was too much to keep upright, to keep standing in this? What did we do? What did we do before we wept in hospital rooms, pacing in tight circles, shaking with the violence of our own confusion and the cruelty of strangers? What did we do? What did we do before she jumped in front of the train, before my lover started drinking again, before you were no feet, 5 feet, 10 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet away? What did we do? What did we do before I hurt you, before you hurt me, before I hurt you worse, before we lost everything, before we stumbled into the streets in a daze, touching anything that passed, nothing being enough, nothing being? What did we do? What did we do before the clouds knew, the stars knew, the clouds knew, the stars knew, the clouds knew, the stars knew? What did we do? What did we do? What did we do? What did we do? A man in my shoes runs a light, but all the papers lie tonight. But falling over you is the news of the day. Angels fall like rain, and love, 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 love is all of heaven away. Love, love, love is all of heaven. Love, love, love is all of heaven. Love, love. After, love is all of heaven. Nights are the hardest. I'll admit to that much. The waves are moving in, out of the crappy phone speaker from the other side of the room. I miss you now. You lie on your side sometimes, but on your back is really where you're really yourself in sleep. Swaddled in the comforter and surprise, I stand alongside the bed. I lie here, Topi shuffles above in her slippers on a landline. Remember those? I'm never going to lie with you again. What could be more ridiculous? I've been reading those poems again by that guy. You know the one. You introduced us. I can't say it here. Everyone will know I just copy things. The word is out. I would share them with you, but what's the point? The days are mystifyingly warm. You wait for the bite of winter, but get confused like early harvest. The end of the world involves a lot of tanning, it seems.
You never snored. Thank God for that. I detest snoring. It's a deal breaker. I won't go to bed with my father. Your legs are golden and strong. You have the most charming waddle I've ever seen. It's getting late. Don't stay on the computer. You'll be disappointed again and again. I wore my sunglasses today in the subway station and everybody looked.
Love is all of hell.
Avoidance.
Love is all of hell. Love is all of hell.
The race is on, I'm on your side. Hearing you, my engines die. I'm in a mood for you.
Love is all
Or
of hell.
running away.
Love is all of hell.
Stars come down in you.
Love is all of
And
hell.
love, you can't give it away. Avoidance.
Love is all of hell.
I won't trouble you with oversized eyes and too hot skin, dryness, lack of sleep, oppressiveness, and ubiquity of that song, that singer. It follows from here that we aren't speaking about it. Nothing changes and nothing should change. Description of the room. The orange table, the plastic vintage lamps, also orange. The tiles of the floors and walls offset in different sizes, colors that surprise, plush vinyl chairs. There you have it. A box, a room contains us all. The end of this page. Cranes stretch out in the morning mist, but not here.
Love is all of hell. 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 Love is all of hell.
And
Love is all of hell.
once this dry heave of a moment passes, I will be better equipped to know how to respond. Mesmerizingly, the bus careens to fulfill its flower-stained path. My dick is shriveling up, hibernating, dormant. My libido for the world is being transformed into passive wonder. Watching you drink feels like nothing. The swigs of beer mark time as you recede into a premature habit. Like a paper cut, it compels me to notice its razory pain, but it is hopelessly dull to collaborate in your disappearance. Maybe your ass crack holds the answer, but probably not. Listen to the way the motor revs and idles, its waning cry, its acceptance of the start and stop. You'd rather force your hand, pickle yourself into a constant monotone. I'd be compassionate if I weren't so implicated. Two roads diverged in the wood, and you got drunk. Peripatetic, the impatient sparrow hops from gutter to curb. Educate me then, O bus ride. It's a half-hearted proposal you make to offer me glimpses that don't add up. It's cruel, maybe, that pragmatic stance. It's your careless constancy, punctuated by unimaginative grammar that I won't forgive. Supplement. Add to it. I remember you, knees wide, face down, the center of the frame intersecting at your asshole, your soft, pale buttocks, a trampoline for my demands. Come on my face, you insisted. How very important was your sweet entreaty. It seemed only proper that I should comply. The hose emptied itself out on your canvas of skin and hair and upturned chin, like a turkey in the rain. Where did I land inside of you, I wonder? So much surface. The imprint was hidden from view. I could never decode your blue-nosed mystery. How terrible. Our roles for each other amounted to juicer, plumber. Look at my face, into my eyes, for more than the length of your smirk, you fucking loser. The puddles form, and erroneously expect someone to jump in. Rio. What is the irony of Facebooking in a bathhouse? Sticky plastic and fluorescent love. A man who complains about lonely faggots and says, hold me, don't suck my dick, don't fuck me, but come on my chest. All gay men are lonely and get AIDS sooner or later. He didn't quite say that. I'm exaggerating to make a long point. You can do that in a crappy poem. My eyes are red. Everything's tender. I love looking at people who look Japanese, speak Portuguese. Wait, that's English. Nothing. I know that much. A port of entry into your asshole, your heart. I will get the saudade, but I will have to come again, like me, in the steam room, because it's true. When I left the sauna, I was suddenly hopelessly homesick. I can't live in this sandal-clad world of brown-skinned laughter outside gallery openings at a comic book shop. Suddenly, somber, uptight New York is pulling on me. I want to stand next to my friends and cackle in English, for God's sake, with our button-down shirts and neo-prep school haircuts, the bullshit uniform of a gentility that eluded us. Stink, beauty, breathing and thunderous waves, people bird-calling out their names, cashews, beer, soda, shrimp, potatoes. It's impossible here to comprehend the class divide. Poor me, I think. I got this wallet full of sadness and prolonged debt. I'm perfectly American. I'm the cutest Colombian that guy ever met, he told me. He had all kinds of ideas about people. I'll never understand why violence surprises people. It's the only way to get headlines.
Love is all of hell. Love, love, love.
Inside you the time moves and she don't fade. The ghost in you, she don't fade.
Love, love, love.
Inside you the time moves and she don't fade. The ghost in you, she don't fade.
Love, love, love is all of hell. Love is all of hell. Love, love, love is all of hell. Love, love, love is all of hell. Love is all of hell. Love is all of hell. Love, love, love is all of hell. Love is all of hell. Love, love, love is all of hell. Love, love, love is all all of hell. Love, love, love is all of hell.
San Francisco. The smell of the jasmine buds. The smell of the dick you are stuffing into your mouth. At the bottom of the stairwell, illicit and cool, the air, the pressing of my thighs in a rhythm as I float home, stopping for chips, something to fill me up. Crumbs get under my nails. I am weaving in the canopied street, risking death in my dark night camouflage. I make secrets to myself. Everyone is edgy here. The incongruous arguments and corner mannequins who step out of walls and retreat into nowhere. I can see their heavy chins and ancient eyes, the low to the ground cars circling the block, slow and constant, like a drone, like a moving walkway at the airport where I will be tomorrow, serene on the chrome-framed chairs, waiting for something to happen, to be told when to fly over this unchanging city. His hands, how they traveled over me, grown-ups' hands, how they offered heat and good feeling, how I turned into a girl or a wanting machine. He pushed up into me, a heavy puppet, wishing I could leave the ground, like a balloon, something uncertain, taken by the invisible wind. Vieques. Stop everything, forget whatever I've said before, and only pay attention to this. I was on the roof. I finally got my cry out. I'd been waiting for it all week. It was the stars, the shooting star. No, I had already started crying. The kind where it's not hard or anything. It just leaks out of you. Tears pour out like an overwatered plant. I sat there in this state of saturation, of low-grade saline flood. The smell passed over me. Jasmine? The only flower scents I recognize are jasmine or roses. It wasn't either, but perfume on the wind. I made out a hunter in the sky. I decided it was me. I'm a bull, but tonight I'm a hunter. The shooting star, yes. Now it's time to talk about it. It tumbled straight down, and that made me cry more, like a bloody Madonna, visible only to people in Mexico or something. We saw her up there. We saw her on the roof. She was crying. She appeared to us. Nothing you can imagine. It's the ocean, it's the waiting for something to strike, a revelation perhaps, some spiritual upheaval that never really comes. A vacation where you finally see. I drove off the road. I hovered and spun on the dirt mound. The wheels took hold and we were off, racing into the overgrowth. Let's dive in, crack our spines on the bumpy ride. All I think about is who is not here. A ghost man. He is forming his way like a shimmering light out of sun rays that have poured in through the window, like Zeus, but a sort of friendlier version. Sit down beside me, O vision. Come in and nuzzle close. Keep me warm on this already warm night. Let's cross paths. No one I know looks like you. You are, all I can tell is that you're wearing a plaid shirt, just like all the other fags. A poking of dust, a filigree. The horses mark time by standing still. They're starving and waiting under the branches in front of the fences, grasping at nothing they know. It's not enough here. The younger ones learn to expect nothing too. Carefully learn their stance of indifference. What a fucking surprise. I'm rattling by, no better really. At least they have the courage to look me in the face. Another page of this and we're done. The illusion of freedom, the complete hallucination of it. Someone is always watching. This is what I learned on Vieques. The policeman or the paisano, who's at a distance with a beer in his hand, like the Statue of Liberty as he bobbles lightly in the water. I could ruin this. I could make it not count. I could choose not to notice any of it. Oh, tour guide, won't you take your shirt off? Won't you let my face slide down your hairless stomach, park my mouth on your cock, swell and stretch? I was alone. I heard the sound of my flip-flops grinding into the sand. Chicago. You're fucking ridiculous. Calling me a faggot on the street, really? What is this, 1989? 1980 nothing. I will not stop until this poem is finished. A study in mediocrity. I continue. I know nothing about it. Depeche Mode is taking a ride with his best friend. I'm sitting here alone in the diner. Extraordinary. I'm a fucking Guggenheim fellow, and I'm sitting here alone on a Friday night in Chicago in the neighborhood being called faggot by a crazy guy. Poetic justice. Everything is meaningless. Actually, that guy, these kids, this basketball bullshit, the t-shirts, I bought those kids art. It's fucking meaningless. The camps were meaningless, the deaths were meaningless, the lampshades were meaningless, the symbol, the crowd, the silence, the insistence, the continuity, this phone call that I'm waiting for, this text too, it's all that way. Reiteration, proliferation, condemnation. Get good at something and ignore it. Get better at it and watch it disappear. Nobody knows or cares. It's always been like this. Rats scurry on the streets in NYC. They rush furtively from garbage to gutter, like I'm going to stop them, like I'm going to ask them for coffee or the rent or something uncomfortable. Keep running, rat. There is nothing between us. Time to save this piece of shit poem. It's been my goal lately. How can I write the world's worst poem? Better to be known for something. Better than the bad poetry book I saw at that bookstore in Davis. This waitress keeps dropping checks, like she could get rid of me so easily. Rats, umbrellas, rain, all of it. Oh, and Chicago. Chicago! Strange time warp, old and ugly, backward, and I just surprised the waitstaff with my Spanish. It's this secret weapon I hide until the right moment. It's in packets. Oh, Jesus, the environment. This is clearly the worst poem ever written. I'm proud of it. What an accomplishment. The day will end on a high note. Cars are streaking along, the street shiny, fresh from the downpour, glowing from the light, those miserable yellow lamps. Everything here is brown or yellow, shit and piss. I painted my room those colors once, further proof of my complete ineptitude at home decoration. I woke up the morning after painting and felt like I was swimming in a giant sun-drenched toilet. Good God, I went conservative and reliable homo white after that. Bunch of dykes at that table. There's a kid too. How the hell am I going to find a kid? How the hell am I going to have one? Steal one, I guess. I thought something more glib and horrible than that, but I can't write it down. I'm still afraid of things. The world is disappointing and scary. When will the wretched hairstyle where fags upsweep their hair into the heat misers do end? It seems impossible that it should continue. Should I tell you? Should I tell you now that I've promised myself to keep writing until Marissa gets here or until Robert calls? What kind of poem is this then? A torture poem? A accretion poem? A what the fuck is there to just do but sit and write poem? Who knows? The world is mysterious and terrible when you haven't slept much. I haven't had sex in 40 days, some kind of Noah's Ark covenant with myself. Where is the dove that will bring me dick? Bigger than an olive branch, please. They are really going through all of the 80s hits tonight. It's incredible. I know every word. My interior life is imprinted with the unforgettable gravitas of Rod Stewart's lyrics. Late 80s, not the early 80s when he was still good. Punctuation's going. Eyesight too. What the hell are we going to do? It's true, I don't want to go to sleep either. Canker sores on my inner lip, my inner life. I am not looking now, and I am writing away. My sister, she would write these letters to me. Well, I only remember one of them, but she would write me from college, from Brown, okay? All right, are you happy now that you fucking know? She would write me letters typed on her typewriter. That is redundant in the dark. She would turn all the lights off and type, and that is what she sent, and she was going crazy, but no crazier than anything I do or did or am doing now, to be honest. It's exciting to think that she and I are communing across time. No, don't worry, she's not dead or anything like that. It's coming to that kind of conclusion thought, though, that really ensures, really signals without question that I am a poet. I can see across time. I can make determinations across time. I can know what is happening. Or, okay, it was rape. I was thinking I can rape somebody, but it was a joke, of course, because I would never do that. That is not me. That guy at the meeting said he was a predator and a something, and I think I heard the word rapist in there, and that for raped me out. I thought, oh Jesus, is that the natural consequence of this thing if it goes unchecked? I have raped myself already many times. I think I have been raped many times. I think I have basically let myself get raped. So many times I had sex with a guy and I thought, no, he wasn't in me. Is that still rape? Does that still count as rape? See, well, once you start, you can't stop saying it. Rape. It really becomes an organizing principle of something, of some kind for something. I notice everything. I notice it all. I am not afraid anymore to admit it, that I thought the word, not the thing that the word signifies, and that is how we know that I am a poet and not a rapist. I am not a rapist, as far as I know. Do you always know if you're a rapist? What if you have had sex with someone who really didn't want to do it with you, but they didn't have the guts or the balls? Okay, I was gonna write balls, but he didn't have the balls to say no or stop, but he felt it and or thought it, or so does that make me a rapist? I mean, if that indeed happened, I can can know, I mean, you can't know either. Maybe we're all rapists, walking around with someone else, remembering the time that we had sex, and when they were saying no, 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 no in their head, now it's Bronski beat. No, really, it's too fucking weird. It's like the R taking this playlist out of my memories, out of my something that is so deeply me and the past. I should do this song. I should sing this song with him, with something. The boys are there, the boys are coming, like the milkshake or so, or like the something. Boys are walking by, holding hands. They are holding hands in the rain. What could be more romantic? I don't know anymore. I pissed up a book today at the bookstore. That is what you do at bookstores, you idiot. You pick up books at the bookstore. Here come the boys. Here comes Marissa, Nad, the boys, and we're going to stop this. The book was called The First 4 Minutes. The First 4 Minutes, and how all of the most important communication happens in the first 4 minutes, and it was strategies for how to do it, and now it's coming to an end. Thank you.